There's no universal culture.
Is it 2030? I don't know what year it is.
What's going to be cancelable in 5 years?
Colored people time.
I carved out time for this.
Oh, you showed up early. And he was like, oh, yeah, I'm just trying to...
Oh, you talking about colored people time.
Yeah, I'm trying to end the stereotype. And I was like, what stereotype? And he's like, CPT. And I was like...
Colored people time.
I don't know what you're talking about. So, Amanual... Oh, yeah, welcome to the... we should do that. Welcome to the Comedy Pre-Show Show. I am your host, Jay Casey, as always. And with me is Aaron Stout. Special guests tonight, we have Joe Libeer and Amanual Angoi. So, Amanual, now we're done with all the formalities that no one cares about. Tell us about CPT.
Colored people time.
Yeah.
It's a stereotype that I'm not gonna say is true,
Okay.
but for my demographic of people, it is very true. Like Africans in general, if they say the party is gonna be at 6 o'clock, everybody's gonna show up at like 8.
Okay. Do you mean Africans or African Americans?
I mean,
Either one. You mean black people?
No,
Okay.
no, God, no.
Okay.
I don't mean
I don't
that.
know.
I mean my specific village in Sudan. No, yes, just South Sudanese.
Okay.
In general, that's what I would say. If you go to an African party, you're gonna get a lot.
An Africa party.
Like, in
Man,
general,
this
they're
is a
gonna be
whole
super
culture
lit.
I didn't know existed.
I mean,
Are you in like Africa clubs where you're like, oh yeah, like you're like in like a Dallas Sudanese club or something?
I mean, my
where they're
cousin
like,
owns a hookah bar.
Yeah.
Shout out to well, it's called Luxor right now, and it's gonna be in Carrollton. So
oh,
y'all come
Luxor.
on the weekends.
Yeah.
But yeah, he has a club out there. He's actually gonna start a Wednesday what's it called night.
Open mic?
Open mic night.
Nice. You gotta go.
Yeah,
I guess
I'm
you have
gonna
to.
be hosting it, right? So I'm gonna be in-
Wait, are
introducing
you? So are you starting it? Like he was like, hey, Amanual, I want to do a comedy night, and you're like, and he's like, can you host it? And
Yeah.
you're like, yeah, sure.
I
That's
was
what
like,
happened.
Yeah, sure. And I was just like, yeah, I can bring my homies, I can bring my people over there. And
Yeah, nice.
we generally do it. Now, John, he's one of the most consistent. And if he said he's gonna be somewhere at a time, he's gonna be there at a time. But he's what I call an anomaly.
Okay.
He's one of those
okay.
dudes.
He
like-
doesn't adhere to CPT. Okay.
No, okay, we're not gonna say that because then they're gonna get on my ass about this. No.
Oh, this is going on the internet,
In professional settings, obviously you're not gonna have CPT time. But when we having a party, everybody's not showing up on time.
Seems like you're backtracking a lot. I don't know.
I'm backtracking because that's not my ass.
Yeah.
It's 2020. What? It's 2024.
It's a 2024. It's the
23.
future.
I'm panicking.
We're all in our Jordan year right now.
I've never heard of anybody thinking the year was in the future. Rather, because everyone's always like, "Oh, is it 2020? Oh, it's 2023 already."
Yeah,
Jeez.
'cause
And
I'm
he's like,
thinking-
"Is it 2030? I don't know what year it is."
I'm thinking about when I get canceled for this.
Oh,
So
sure.
once I make it to a certain level of bigness, they're like, okay, we don't like him. So remember when you said this about black people? Yeah, come on. Because
Yeah.
I said some horrible things on stage about black people, but that's because
Yeah, but it's like, don't worry about it. When you cross that bridge when you get to it, like if you're famous, you're like, well, something was gonna come up.
Yeah, you don't need to preemptively think about the future cancel. You
Uh-huh.
don't. You don't. I do have a question
Because,
about.
sorry, what's going to be cancelable in 5 years? What you said right now might not be cancelable then.
That's right.
I will say this, like a lot of the times is people need to understand the context of time. You're right about that. But being canceled is the dumbest thing in the world. Because name me a comedian who's been canceled that is like legit been canceled.
right. Yeah.
That it doesn't happen because
Well,
you're gonna
not
have
for
counterculture.
comedians.
You're gonna have people that are willing to pay for it. No, not even anything else. Like you can always find an avenue where you can get your fame to make you more money.
I've heard who's the guy? There's a comedian who's super famous. He's got really long hair. He's a white dude. He is getting canceled right now because he
Is it TJ
child
Miller?
molestation stuff.
Oh,
It's
that's
not.
different.
It's
That's
not molestation. It's like 16-year-olds. Like I mean, it's like it's bad,
it
but it's not
Leonardo
like, it's not like
DiCaprio?
1-year-olds. No.
Holy shit! What?
Leonardo DiCaprio? Isn't that his name?
Hold on.
Oh, okay, yeah, you guys know about this, right?
They're both bad. They're both
Is it
bad.
Dusty Slay?
It's not Dusty Slay. Okay,
I don't
I'm gonna
know who
have
it
to,
is.
I don't know how to Google this. Okay.
I love you, but don't say okay. They're both bad. Obviously,
Okay.
the child one is way worse.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
there's still a 16-year-old. They're both bad.
No. They're all very bad. And Amanual Angoi does not want to get canceled in the future. So let's all say it No, we're not. Okay,
We do not believe. We are not R. Kelly's. We do not like
Right.
little kids.
in the future, they're going to be like, Emmanuel, you were on a podcast where they said that it was okay, and you're going to be like, but I said it wasn't. And they're like, yeah, but you should have known not to be on the podcast.
Yeah, you were kind of joking about it a little bit.
I
We
have
weren't
a
sure if you were serious.
slavery bit, so like most people won't say anything to me. All right, like yeah.
I think that's why he's disguising it with the date. He's like, no, I didn't say that yet. It was 2024. I didn't say that yet.
No, because I know I got like specific ideas that I want to do. Because in general, I think if you strategically map out what the you want to do. Oh, can I curse?
Yeah.
Sure, yeah, I don't know. Whatever.
yeah. my
I
bad.
think
Hell
we need
yeah.
to not do the F bombs though.
Oh.
I will bleep them if you say them.
Yeah, I
but-
mean, don't worry about it too much. But like, yeah, I mean, I don't go crazy. Ideally.
Do you think we've gotten to the point where like real life is kind of being curated through
for
the
sure.
internet?
Yeah,
Like, a lot of
absolutely.
people
Yeah,
are just-
without a doubt. It's
Yeah.
so meta at this point, right? Like
Yeah.
it's like culture on hyperdrive, right? Like I think culture's always kind of been like that, where like the culture, like whatever, celebrities, entertainment, whatever, it's a feedback loop into what society actually is, and then that feeds into what entertainment actually is. And it's always like that, but it just keeps speeding up and speeding up.
Right.
And so
But it's not a shared reality anymore, right? Like
okay.
what I see on the internet is a lot different than what you see
Sure,
on the
it's a
internet.
good point. Become
There's no
fragmented.
universal
Yeah.
culture. Like,
Like-
who's the most famous singer right now? In the 80s, there was one answer. That was Michael Jackson.
Right.
Yeah, sure.
Madonna.
Yes.
there was a couple
we can
answers
find
that
that.
everyone could agree
But
on. now
nowadays,
it's not,
like,
yeah.
my dad doesn't know who Post Malone is.
Yeah.
And some may say he's the most famous. People, there's no universal
Right.
culture.
We all probably like different music.
I,
we
I
probably
would, I
haven't
would
heard.
say
Yes.
I know it's Bad Bunny simply because of how much he sells. That's it.
That is, that's, I don't know if that's even an anomaly.
Because
That's
there
kind
is-
of a good answer.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
true, pretty good answer.
Because like I would say this in the 80s for black people, obviously it was Michael Jackson, but they also had Prince.
Yeah.
They also had Rick James. Well, I will say there's always going to be a cultural segregation, which sounds wild when I say it like that, but it generally
No, it
is
makes
when
sense, yeah.
people
Right.
I don't know if
chasing
an-
music and everything else.
Yeah.
I don't know if the officials at an NBA game are ever going to have to pause the game to recognize Michael Jackson's presence or someone similar. That's not going to happen anymore. No one's that
Right.
big, and no one's capable of getting
Well, no
that
one's as universal,
big
right? Like
anymore.
Michael Jackson, like everyone you named, really. Michael Jackson, Prince, definitely. Like those guys were huge universal names that everyone knew. Yes, there were some people who liked them more than other people, but everyone knew them. You said Bad Bunny earlier. I don't really know who that is. I've heard the name.
That's
No clue really what they
And
do.
go to
I
any
like
club
that you did bring
for-
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go to any club. Well, we are older, so like go to any demographic underneath the ages that are like doing the cultural reset. Because like let's be honest with ourselves, once you hit 26, 27, you're not young anymore.
You're not paying
right?
attention anymore. Yeah.
And so I say those kids, they know what their generation's version of Beyonce or what's called Drake is going to be that conversation.
I mean, I kind of see what you're saying, right? I mean, I think it's like I am old, and so like I knew my pop culture, but I don't know these people pop culture. But I do think there is something to everything's so fragmented. You can get into your bubble, and you don't have to be exposed to anybody else's bubble, and you can just exist. And you're like, this is my most famous person, you know, and like I don't know.
Yeah, like there's no gatekeeper really for fame anymore or to reach people. You used to be, you had to impress the studio executives and to get a record deal or a movie deal. And nowadays you can just put something on YouTube and if enough people like it, then you're famous.
And then everyone in that group you're going to be super famous to them,
Right.
but you're not going to be famous to anybody else who's like, I don't know.
Yeah,
It's not so centralized anymore.
Yeah,
'Cause
like
that-
I really want to go to Halloween. Go to a Halloween party as Doug DeMuro. But you guys don't know who that is, right?
No
And I bet you could do the same thing to me. You could be like, I'm going to this guy. And I'd be like, I have no idea who that is.
yeah.
I Show Speed. I can ask y'all, do y'all know who I Show Speed is?
Oh
Y'all
yeah,
know
yeah.
who-
I know.
Yeah.
Yes, I know
Yes.
this kid.
Okay,
Yes.
you do know Kai Cenat.
Yeah, I had no idea.
See, that's the same conversation. But
And
is
they're
it-
really big.
they're giant, like massive.
American 16-year-olds know. So many of them know who that is.
They
So
became
many.
millionaires within the last 3 years simply off of streaming
Right.
Nice.
on Twitch.
And
Yeah, what do they play?
They play
a lot of stuff.
They're not really playing. They're more of like, imagine if you could be in your late teens, early 20s, and you have all your friends living in one
I
house.
remember it, yeah.
You're all rich,
Oh,
and
well,
you just get
no,
to do the
I remember
most
it, I remember it.
insane shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think like
That's
what we don't
all I
think
want
about
in
is,
life, honestly. Yeah.
Yeah, like what we don't think about is like there's so many people you watch on social media who are trust fund kids who don't have jobs. I gotta go to work 40 hours every week at least.
Yeah. Right.
I don't have time to go play with toys and make YouTube videos about it. to
But
get
here
views.
we are making a YouTube video.
I carved out time for this.
Yeah. You don't think those kids had school to go to, Aaron?
No.
All right. They didn't study, and now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, can we have an honest conversation about that? Like, the internet is like the age of like, if you put in enough effort, you can go viral.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And there's outrage baiting, which is just saying the most salacious stuff to make sure that people want to watch you, right?
Yeah.
And I always tell people that, like, when you're trying to go viral, make sure that within the first 20 seconds that you have something that, like, catches them.
Yeah.
Like, you could say, fat women have the best vagina, or something like that, right? And then you start to make your point, but you take that salacious point and you turn it into something that's like a universal truth, and everybody's like, he's a genius.
Yeah, no, it's so formulaic, and if you study it a little bit, like, you can totally see the patterns, and it's really not, I mean, it's like anything, right? Like, you got to put in the time and energy to figure it out, and you got to put the time and energy to do the thing, and it takes work, but it's really achievable. Like, you can do it for sure. And I think it's proven by, like, you go on the internet, and you can find all kinds of people doing crazy stuff that you've never even heard of, right? And they're making money doing it, right?
Like even certain types of streaming, I'm not familiar with 99% of the games that they're playing, but that's the format. That's one of the formats.
Yeah.
Do you remember? I don't know, 6 months or so, there was everybody was all fired up about that comedian who had a beer thrown at her. Do you guys remember that?
Yeah.
What was that?
Somebody threw a beer at a comedian on stage.
Did she say something
No,
offensive? Or
she was perhaps political in a sense that the audience member was against.
Yeah. And so,
okay.
20 years ago, none of us would have ever known about that.
Yeah.
Only the people in that room and the people they told would have known.
Yeah.
But now she's kind of internet famous because somebody had a cell phone.
The amount of people that are like just like internet famous for something just completely random or bad or whatever, it's just like, yeah, now you're a celebrity. Like that Salt Bay guy. What did that guy do? Like he was like he ran onto the pitch of the World Cup.
Yeah.
The guy, the original Salt Bay guy.
Oh,
whatever.
he became a monster
He was
during
like
the
at
World
Cup.
Cup.
Yeah.
Holy
Like he was like nudging a player out of the way, like I've got to touch that.
And it
you
was
can't
like
tell me that
messy.
wasn't cocaine fueled. Like I've never seen anybody who feels like they do more cocaine, but you can't quite prove it. But you look at him and he's
you're like, you do
cocaine face.
Yeah.
He has the hair is slicked back in a way where you're like, oh, you do that on purpose because you look like Albert Einstein when you do it.
Well, like this guy, like his whole
tame the cocaine hair.
Look, I'm telling you, I can't do cocaine because I look like scary big crackhead. Like you ever seen a big buff crackhead? No, you don't because they get shot. Yeah,
Too scary. Too
scary. Like Terry Crews on crack, you're gonna be like, oh my god, we're gonna die.
We've got to deal with this genuine threat.
Yeah, that's why I don't work out, so I don't have to worry about that.
You don't want to look too intimidating, right?
Yeah, I want to be small, like Bambi. That's what I want to be.
It goes from cocaine face to crackhead face. It's a very thin line that most people.
You want to go for a run later? Sorry, too threatening. It's like, oh, you don't want to run at night. No, I don't want to become a threat. Don't want to do that.
Don't want to do that.
It is kind of a, I was kind of joking about, like, obviously now, because obviously I work out. Like,
I mean, you in the gym, dog. You're massive. I gotta ask you what your program is. You're looking good, brother.
But it's, is just weird to think about. Like, I mean, none of us are like super buff guys. Like, I assume if you're like some jack dude, you could be the nicest dude in the world, but you're more of a threat. Like, you're perceived as more of a threat.
Yeah.
Just as a man, you're perceived as more of a threat.
Oh,
obviously.
I've never really
like a super jacked guy. You're more of a threat.
I've never really been in a fight as an adult, like as a 6'4", 250-pound guy.
Yeah.
People want to work that out. Like, there's no, like, I will walk around and dress in heels, and people will be like, "We're gonna kick that fag's ass," and I'm like, "Are you? Are you really?" And they're like, "No, we're just kidding."
He can say the F word. It's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, depending on
don't get us canceled. We need a big disclaimer at the bottom.
I mean, the man, my brother here is. Can I say queer?
Yeah. I don't know. Whatever. No one's watching. It's fine. You're gonna get canceled.
But like for me, I love going to gay clubs in general because it's always so much fun. But I always peep them that want to really say shit. They say it under their breath because they know they're gonna get their ass whooped. I've never met a queer, especially black dude, who's my size that can't fucking fight. Like I've never met anybody, and especially if they're out and loud and proud about it. They've been into too many fights to where it's not a game for them.
I wonder if that's
real
a culture that's going away though now, as like gay people are more accepted in society. Like maybe back in the 70s, it's like you got to be jacked, you got to know how to fight.
Not.
You don't think so?
Absolutely not. There's still sundown towns out.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
And that's coming from a person who lives in Sudan, which is great. I think like the third most homophobic country in the world.
Okay. Is South Sudan worse?
South Sudan, Sudan was ranked third in the world.
Yeah, I know. What about South Sudan?
It's the exact same.
What? They're different countries. You don't know about South Sudan?
No.
Okay.
How you gonna tell me about South Sudan?
Yeah. Okay. Let me educate you about your heritage.
Thank you.
Okay. There's Sudan. There's the regular whatever. OG Sudan, and then there's South Sudan, which is the one below it.
So we have Jake Casey
So
is a white
Sudan,
to us.
Sudan is different from Sudan. Like Sudan is like a heavyweight version of Sudan. It's the Big Don. Sudan.
Okay,
And Sudan is like a henchman for.
No, I think it's like
Okay,
Sue.
yeah.
It's like Sue's like a librarian. Sue Dawn. It's a meek woman.
Sue and Dan.
Yeah.
Sue and Dan.
And
Sue
then
and
there's the
Dan.
other.
Moving it.
I feel like this is kind of some white splaining.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
white splaining African culture.
Well, that's what we're best at. So let us do our job, Aaron. All right.
I mean, we were colonized by the British. I mean, well, upper half.
Yeah.
My South Side ain't lose to nobody.
Emmanuel, didn't you like leave Sudan when you were like 3?
No, I left when I was 5.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
so,
well,
I mean, I
that's
drank
what
there. I
Like was
fought
like
there.
give or take 2 years.
I was lost
Yeah.
in Sudan. So, like,
Yeah.
come on, what are you talking about? I basically survived.
Hey, dude, it's fine. Yeah, like I
a
lived.
pack of hyenas. You know what I'm saying? That's how gangsta I am. You know what I'm saying?
Nice.
If I go back now, they're like, oh, the conqueror has come back.
Yeah.
King Amanual. Absolutely not. And that's the thing about, like, if you're for me, when I was a baby, I was like super fat as a baby, right? And I was born in 95. This was during like the famine in Sudan.
Okay.
And my mama always says, he's like, God gave you the blessing of being fat because you can't keep your mouth shut. You know what I'm saying? You always got to eat.
Yeah. Nice.
And I think that translated to like what I do now, because she used to say, oh, you're going to be a pastor. You're going to be on stage. You're going to talk to people. Didn't become a pastor, but I became a comedian. So, like, I mean, she was technically right. She had
I
a
mean,
vision.
podium.
I've seen you preach. So
Yeah, that's true. You got like a real preacher swagger when you're up there.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Oh, yeah, that's Sunday school.
Yeah. Insert clip of swagger.
I want to play the organ while you're on stage. Just kind of give you
Jesus
the.
Christ. Oh, you talking about what I'm talking about? Child slavery?
Yeah, a lot of dark jokes. Joe Libeer, let's head to Joe Libeer for what is your opinion of child slavery?
Yes.
Well, I think Wayfair has kind of mastered it. I think that they kind of know how to get away with it.
Oh my God.
Yeah. No,
You're not one of those QAnons, are you?
No. I'm full invested in. I'm Jewish. I'm not a Jew. I'm black QAnon.
We already had
there's
that
all
joke on this
sorts of ways to go.
podcast.
Call it black QAnon. They're just called hoteps. They're not just called black QAnon. They're called hoteps.
White splaining.
Yes.
Yeah.
My brother.
Hotep. I actually didn't know there was a term.
This is all way over my
No,
head.
hoteps
Yeah.
is a very different thing. Hoteps are, some are black Hebrew Israelites, some are other things. Because, like, okay, first off, being black and Jewish does not mean that you're also black and the weird conspiracy. Why am I explaining the truth? I should stick with the bit. But telling facts is just not fun.
No, I like it. This is educational. We'll put it under an educational hashtag.
Why do I always got to be
The more
educational?
you know.
We got just fact checks happening.
For God's sakes, I'm a stand-up comedian. Why can't I just,
exactly. Yeah.
I'm a stand-up
Nice.
comedian, for God's sakes. I'm supposed to focus on the fun.
Yeah, we're jesters.
You
All
have to have
right.
a- you have
No
to
one
have-
should take us seriously.
Right.
You have to have a good setup, right? A good premise and a good setup.
Yeah. You got us hooked.
Got you hooked on what?
I'm waiting for the punchline.
Word.
Man.
The word of God.
The Chinese fentanyl that are coming from south of the border.
Okay.
I'm not going to continue there because I
Yeah.
just knew where I was
Excited.
going.
Dude,
Got excited.
You're gonna get canceled like 4 times in the future just from this episode. Like, we should have you on all the time, like the cancel show where people say things that get them canceled.
First off, I've said so much worse on TikTok that
Yeah.
should have had me canceled.
Yeah.
Like I remember the other day there was a woman that was talking about how men generally don't like to talk to people that they don't find attractive, and I was like,
Okay.
that's just people in general.
Yeah.
Right.
If a girl
Right.
thinks that I'm just hideous and ugly, she's not gonna want me.
Yeah,
to
women
talk
don't
to
want
her.
to talk to unattractive.
Like, it
men
doesn't matter what
either.
you are.
Yeah.
Non-binary, I could have. They're not gonna like me if I look
It is-
unattractive.
It almost
to them.
it's a little sad, I think all of us are, pretty attractive people. Like,
Yeah.
but like you hear experiences.
Speak
of
for
people-
yourself. I'm a 10. I'm a 9. I'm
I don't know.
immaculately
I heard
beautiful.
like experience. I've heard like experiences from people who were like super overweight and then they lost all their weight and they're like,
Oh, for
everyone
sure.
treats me so much differently. And it's like I'm sure that's what it's like being like super ugly. Is everyone's like,
Treat them
Oh,
better.
I wasn't
be
even
a-
that fat.
yeah.
I mean, I was like, I'm 6'4" and I was 290, but I was pretty big
Yeah,
and buff.
pretty big, yeah.
And when I dropped down to like 210, people totally changed me differently. Even though I didn't like, I just looked skinny, but I didn't look gross when I was big.
Yeah.
It was.
But it's just
really
the
weird.
you were perceived very differently.
Yeah.
Right?
People hate fat people. This is gonna sound fucked up, but it's the truth.
You made a larger point a second ago. Like, it's not that people hate fat people. It's people just don't like when you aren't attractive, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's fat, it's ugly, it's
Yeah, it
whatever.
seems
right.
like something wrong is here. Like at the
Right.
root of it, someone's like, I don't need the unexpected things that happen with abnormality. Like you don't fit in with the
Yeah.
the way our tribe should be going right now.
Well,
You can't gather it the same way that we're gathering.
I think there's something like
Seems a little
deeply
tough to deal with
cultural or maybe even biological. I don't know, deeply cultural at the very least, where it's like you aren't fit to be, a member of society.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
It's not even that. It's not that extreme anymore, but it comes from the same place.
But it comes from the same
you
dark
can't
place.
gather wood, and you can't, go and get me a boar, and so it's kind of the same thing. Like you're just not as valuable to society.
We had this conversation later. Remember we were just talking about how the gene of comedy or being able to speak on stage the way that we do comes from our ancestors who are about to get casted out, having to speak their piece before the.
I didn't
Sounds
know this
right.
part
Yeah.
of this.
Sounds right.
Before the general public was like, "Oh, you're bashed out."
Yeah.
So those people would have to entertain and be like, "I bring value through this.
Yeah.
Through this communication. Yada yada
Yeah.
yada. Please don't ban me. I know I'm not great at everything else.
Yeah.
But I'm great at this." And people realized in the middle of higher intelligence, like, "Oh, this is valuable."
Yeah.
Entertainment.
Yeah. Well, because
Yeah.
you like people based on your feelings less
Yeah.
than your logic, and so whenever you start feeling good, then you're like, I'll give them a little extra food. It's fine.
But what's even
to be
worse, I
honest-
think it might be like when you said that like they look at him and they're terrified that the rest of the group will shun them for being attracted to this person.
Yeah.
That again is a historical thing where like the group had to approve of who you were attracted to.
Yeah.
So you might be attracted to something or someone that's different, but the rest of the group is terrified of that person.
Yeah.
So now
Yeah,
they got to
for
get her out of here.
You ever think about like what a crazy time we live in? Because 200 years ago, what we're talking about right now, it was a matter of fact thing. It was about tribes and villages, and that was like the way life was. And now, I guess we've come full circle. The internet made us all one village.
Yeah.
yes.
We still do the same things, but we're definitely more liberated in the sense of like we allow more looseness in those things, because we're not threatened by panthers all the time, whatever.
Yeah.
Bugs.
I heard,
as much.
I heard a theory of like why there are still psychopaths, why there are still sociopaths.
Oh, we need him.
Right, because at one point in human history, the ability to go kill people in the other village and come back and not think bad things about it, just kind of something your village needed.
Yeah, dude. It's
Oh,
amazing.
God.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if we were fighting Oklahoma for food and we just sent you up there to kill a bunch of Oklahomans and bring food back for us, we would want you to just be
Right,
Joe.
We
right?
need you. Yeah, we need a soldier. Like
You don't
go
want
be-
someone that's like, well, hold on, but I've got thoughts about that. You
No.
need no
Right.
questions.
Right.
No question of
hesitations.
morality. Go kill those
So would you
Oklahomans and
say
bring us our
like,
food.
would you say there's an
yeah.
archetype of what a soldier is that is close to sociopathy?
I don't think it's that way nowadays.
Soldier and man, because
Yeah.
at that time period, what you would consider the best and peak man and the best and peak woman
overlap. Yeah,
had overlap, right?
Yeah.
And then you had the people who were in between or could be in between those. But those bigger archetypes are where we have put like the idea of what manhood is and what the idea of what a woman is, right?
Yeah.
So for a soldier, a dude had to learn stuff and they would have like these group events, i.e. football, basketball, all this stuff where like hyper masculinity is the goddamn thing, or something like when girls are together in like, I don't know, choir, or what is a woman equivalent to like football and
I don't know.
Shopping.
that is
Whatever.
We are men.
Regardless, what you're saying
Yeah.
is like the activities that
Stupid
we're put
ones.
into,
'Cause, like, football-
are there to help us like develop the skills that fit us into
Football
the
toughened me up,
society
and
wants
like
from
I
us.
had to decapitate this man, hit him with the full force of God, and if he's
Right.
knocked out, fuck him and fuck his
Right.
mama.
Yeah, it's
Right.
kind of the
So then
same
you can
thing,
be a
right?
soldier someday,
They're even like they're divided geographically, right? All right, we're gonna go kick those OU asses, man. You know?
Yes.
Yeah.
You see Philly fans when they fight.
Dude, this is like the deepest conversation we've ever had on this show, and I love deep conversations. I mean, I like also being silly and insane, but like, it's a great conversation.
You need to have a good base in the reality to know how to be a chucklehead, kind of. Otherwise, what are you being a chucklehead against?
Yeah, you have to relate to your audience. You have to have something
So
in common.
let me know what you guys think. Going back to archetypes of people, like for me, like I am constantly, in my own cloud. I'm constantly thinking about how messed up society is, and I think that's a lot of those things that have made me funny, right? It's because I'm sitting there looking at society and like, this is dumb. What are you guys doing? But it also makes me bad at like just getting things done because I'm like, why do I need to work? Why do I need to go grab the firewood? This is stupid. We're gonna die tomorrow anyway.
That resonates with me because part of it sometimes stems from, I don't know if it's false ego or a good self-inflation sense, if you will.
Yeah.
But like, I think that I've got the right idea for how things should be going. And I'm like, everyone's caring about that?
Yeah.
That doesn't matter right now, but that's required right now?
Yeah.
You realize that doesn't matter, right?
Yeah.
Like,
I just think that's what comedians are really good at. I think there's like a core truth of comedians is like you look at society and you're like, this is dumb. What are you all doing? And that's why you develop this sense of humor.
We are the conscious ego that also understands how silly they are.
Yeah.
Because you have to be and acknowledge the fact that this is so random in this world that even our ideas of what perception is doesn't fucking matter. Because when we get together, what happens? You're like, oh wait, I've never seen it from that perspective. That makes sense. And then you hear somebody else from another side, and you're like, holy shit, that makes just as much sense. Are we crazy? Yes, we are.
There's so many people that think that the comedian, I mean, you hear that classic trope of, they tell it like it is, but there's so many people that walk away from a comedy show and don't just think about the joy ride that it was, but they'll say, I'd never thought of it that way. It's like, they're not full on telling you the reality of it. They're pretty dang good at convincing.
And I think comedy serves a purpose in like moving society along. Because I think when there's something we can't talk about, eventually somebody's going to make a joke about it, right?
Uh-huh.
All right. And then if we joke about it enough, then we're like, you know what? We should probably have real conversations about this. We should probably stop doing those things we've been doing.
I think comedy, it just knocks down those barriers. Like everyone has these walls that they build up and like, I won't listen to this person. And you just start making fun of both people. And then they're like, well, if you do it well, they're like, oh yeah, I guess it is okay, right? All right, I guess so.
But so many people want to jump up and like preach and rant and not have a joke about it. Like you got to joke about it.
Right. It's got to be packaged perfectly right. It's like there's a truth in here, and I put a big bow on it, and it's all fun and silly. But like, look at the truth. I want you to see the truth right here. Like you're dumb and I'm dumb and everything's stupid. That's what I want you to think.
But here's the thing. I also have a theory that comedy is what you do right after you just solve the problem.
Okay.
So now you have the tension between the two crowds that had to come to a truce. What was the best thing for these two crowds to have? If somebody in between that could make fun of both sides to allow the both sides to see the humanity of each other.
Yeah. That's a major goal of my comedy. I want to be like the genderqueer person that is still relatable to everybody else.
Yeah, that's the best kind of comedy, right? Like it's great to just go up there and have everyone have a good time, but like if you're not speaking some truth in there, like what is it all for? And just like why are we here?
The kind of a mediator type translator role, and that's like the essence of the jester. They're like, we've got this reality going on right here.
Yeah,
and that's the essence. And they're bringing the audience. Sometimes they're helping the audience understand the case back then or the judgment. Yeah, but they're just the mediator, the translator.
Right.
Translator.
I like how you guys say that because I've always felt like that was not like my style was like middle ground, but I always felt like my ambition for doing a lot of comedy was kind of, get on the same page in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to,
when
it comes to politics, I want to bash everyone equally, right?
Exactly.
On the Republican side, on the left side,
I just want to make fun of everything, and that's gotten me in trouble plenty of times, and I'm trying to do it less. But, like, that's what I want. Like, honestly, I have this urge, this deep urge, like, the thing that I can look at you and I'm like, oh, that's the thing you're most sensitive about? It's like, that's what I want to talk about. Right? It's like, why are you sensitive about that, idiot?
Yes. But for me, it's like, I think you need to do it in the least mean but mean way possible.
Yeah. Right.
Which is what I call, so, like, truth without kindness is cruelty.
Yeah,
right.
For sure.
That's the truth of it.
It's Westboro Baptist Church.
But also, I think raw comedy where you like meanness, like where you just like meanness to a certain type of individual, is you loving the Schadenfreude, which sometimes is good for Schadenfreude. Right. Schadenfreude is good for a Nazi because it's German. I'm just gonna say that right now. Makes sense, right? Yeah. But I'm not gonna be talking to a Nazi because my black ass is not going in the middle of nowhere, Texas, to like do comedy.
Sure. Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I will say, what's weird about this era? We were just talking about it earlier, how it's super splintered. What has happened is people have allowed their egos to cause the echocosms, where like the things start to echo so much that it doesn't even sound like a logical truth.
Yeah.
It just turns into this side, this side, this side, this side, echoing something where they're not even listening to each other, and it's just like, oh, I'm hearing myself, and that sounds so good.
Well, right, because everyone gets in their bubbles, and it's so much worse than it's ever been, where you can isolate yourself in your bubble and you don't listen to anybody outside of you.
Yeah.
And then when these people stick their necks out and start saying things, you're like, hey, but what about? And then they're like, shut down any contra opinion because it's like they've never even thought about it. Right?
Like this has been reinforced as truth already, man. You're like, you think so, because that's all that you've been looking at, though.
Right, yeah, exactly.
And this is brand new to me, and I think that's bonkers.
Yeah, like if there was no internet and us four we're here once a week for drinks, and I started saying crazy shit, y'all be like, oh, you got to dial that back, Aaron. That is not cool.
Yeah.
But I can get on the internet, and I can find a million people who agree with everything I have to say.
Yes.
And it just reinforces batshit crazy things.
Yeah.
It is kind of weird the way the echo chamber can form itself. Like Reddit, the internet forum. there's so many things that, like, in the last 10 years it's evolved into that, like, I used to think, oh, I align with some of these, like, cool leftist guys that are smart, that know what they're talking about. It's so kind of, like, empty now. Like, they've been saying a lot of the similar tropes as an echo chamber that they do lose, like, the meaning, kind of what you were saying a second ago about, you know,
there's no nuance.
Kind of bounces around. Yeah. It doesn't sound like the original idea anymore,
right?
To a certain extent.
Yeah,
it's also because it's it's saturated.
Yeah, and it gets taken to an extreme level that's like ridiculous. Yeah, no, it's so. First of all, I wanted to, man, this has been an awesome conversation so far.
Oh shit!
We usually play a game at the end of this. If y'all want it, like we can keep talking. It's not a big deal. If y'all want to play the game, we can play the game. Like whatever. But it's 7:15.
Did you sign up already?
No.
Oh, what?
Oh, go sign up.
We'll be right back.
I got 12 minutes.
Well, all right.
BRB.
Yeah.
All right. So for some context, what's going on here is there's an open mic that we are doing this show beforehand, and you have to check in at the door to make sure that you are on the list for the night. And these fellows got here before they needed to check in, so now they had to go do that.
What's hilarious, guys, is this is the 6th episode of the show, and I don't think anybody's ever been like, "Do I need to sign up?" Because they always like Greg comes around and he's like, "Oh yeah, they're here."
He checks
so
it out.
That's completely reasonable because you guys didn't know that. But like, I assume Greg saw me sitting here, and it's like, "Oh yeah, he's here."
Well, last week he missed Waldo. Waldo didn't go up.
Waldo didn't go up?
No, it was Thomas. Thomas was here, and he was.
Yeah, that's true. So maybe it's not foolproof. Maybe we should like text Greg ahead of time.
Here's a list of the dudes. If you miss them, that's where they were sitting.
You know what? Let's go. Let's play a game. Now the momentum's live. All right. So we got a game for you guys. I call this game Red Light, Green Light.
Red light, green light. Okay.
And what happens in this? Let's see. Where's the thing? Where's the cards? Got it. And what happens in this game is y'all are going on dates. You're going on dates.
All right.
And
are we going on a date with each other? I mean, he's handsome, but he's not really my type, and I don't think I'm his type either.
It's a foursome. It's a foursome date. I have no idea. I've never played this.
I like this.
Then I definitely don't have my type here. No disrespect to y'all. I think all three of y'all are handsome.
You guys grab yourself a few green lights. Type? Oh, we got to get this. We got to get this game going.
If it was to be like a man or anybody else that was masculine lesbians are my type when it comes to masculinity.
All right.
And then
is that because they don't want anything to do with you and you like that hard to get game?
No, I just like a woman who's able to be like, hey, big boy. Grab me and be like, I'm like, oh, okay, I like when you take control. And then most of the time when they're in the bedroom, they're not really as aggressive. Most people don't realize
this
like
is
people that are super
valuable
aggressive.
Information for the game that we're about to play.
Beautiful.
Where we are going to, everyone's going to be the center of attention, and everyone else is going to create a date for them using the green cards, which are positives, right? So, for example, I'm going to say, hey, Manuel, your date is royalty and never arrives prematurely, something like that. And you're like, oh, those are pretty good qualities, right? But then everyone is going to make one of these, but then they're going to put, the person next to you is going to put a red card, a red light, on that same stack, which is a bad quality, and Amanual has to decide which person he's going to go out with. 2 good qualities and 1 bad quality. So
2 good, 1 bad.
Yeah, so everyone just grab you some cards.
Okay. All right.
And if y'all want, I can be the first one to go.
I've got a blank, by the way.
Yeah, just throw it out.
Do we have to have
we're familiar with that? That's the Joker card. You know that card.
Yeah, it's whatever you wanted it to be.
Yeah.
It's like she's nothing. So, Bobby. Oh, well, Bobby got the camera
Bobby
going.
Goldsmith, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Bobby. Hey, Bobby, we'll talk to you in a second. We're in the middle of a podcast here. All right.
It's on the other side. You got to...
So, actually... How about we do it on Amanual first? Amanual, we're going to go first. So we're going to make you a little date real quick.
Okay.
I like it.
So pick you guys 2 green cards of what you think Amanual would like. And if you have too many cards, just throw some back.
So I can review them. I'm looking at them now.
Yeah,
it's
just
not
find
blind.
some. Oh, yeah, I'm going to do this one.
You know what's insane about me is like every single woman I've ever dated, I had a one-night stand with before.
Every single one?
Every single one.
Huh. Man.
You like the lust.
No.
All right, you guys ready for Amanual?
Absolutely.
All right. So, Amanual, I'll go first. Amanual, I'm going to send you on a date with a spin instructor.
Okay.
Ooh.
Yeah, attractive, right? Attractive. Who's also a famous rapper. Pretty good, huh? Pretty good.
So then I play the red?
No, so you just
I
lay
play
out
my 2 goods.
Just lay out your good
goods.
cards first.
Spin instructor who's also a rapper?
Yeah, famous rapper, not just a rapper.
So Cardi B. Anyways, okay,
And
let's
I've
go.
got a date for you. You never have to work while you date them. You never have to work.
Pretty good.
And I'm going to use this first one. This one's kind of simple. They're honest.
They're honest.
That's great.
Ooh.
All right, now I see mine.
You going psychological, my brother.
All right, Aaron, what do you got?
I have always has a magic bag full of cheese.
Okay. It's a weird positive.
And makes you feel secure.
Makes you feel secure. Okay. Now pick out, everyone's going to put a red card on the person to their left. Pick out the thing that's going to ruin it.
Okay.
Oh, this is a juicy game. I like
it's pretty good.
You guys are thinking about this way too much.
This is so great.
Oh.
So I'm gonna lay mine down by you.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Constantly trying to bang your friends is what I put down.
Okay.
So we should probably read we should read the 3 pairs.
Yeah, all right. So let's go around. What do you got, Aaron?
I have
now you're going to get to choose now, man.
Constantly trying to bang your friends.
Constantly trying to bang your friends.
My friends are whores.
Okay.
So she is banging.
Yeah.
Your bros, no bros before hoes in your crowd?
I'm sorry. I'm going to be honest. They're hoes. They'll tell me too. They'll be like, oh, yeah, your girl tried to fuck me. And I fucking like, oh, my bad. Language.
Oh, it's totally, dude. It's totally fine, dude. What else? What else you got in there?
Oh, it has a magic bag that contains unlimited cheese and makes you feel secure.
All right.
Great
What
thing,
are
I like
your
cheese.
initial thoughts on that one, Emmanuel?
I like cheese, and makes me feel secure. I don't know how she makes me secure while also fucking my friends, unless we're in an open relationship.
She makes you feel secure. So she's banging your friends,
so she's good at lying.
But you don't realize it.
She's good at lying about it.
So
is that okay? Ignorance is bliss, you know?
For me, if that was a case where she was fucking my friends, we might be in an open relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So that might be a thing that I'm interested in. Because I'm
so
like,
it could be all right. It could be okay.
In it.
Nice.
Okay.
All right, let's see about this one. She's a famous rapper who's also a spin instructor.
It's hot.
I don't know why she needs that job if she's a famous rapper.
She's just got a hot body.
Yeah, she's just like, I just do this for fun on the weekend.
Maybe she's Instagram famous. Maybe she's TikTok
or
famous.
Or maybe that's the fame. Is she's like a spin instructor who's trying to be an aspiring
No, she's already a famous rapper. She's a famous rapper, and she's just like, I rap from my bike. That's what she does.
Well, that's dope.
Sick videos.
And she only eats deep fried food.
Wow. Yeah, I'm 300 pounds.
I mean, she's clearly, like, she's a spin instructor. She's clearly in shape. So it doesn't really matter that she eats only deep fried
like
foods.
She's allowed to eat.
I don't
only deep fried
know. I don't
foods.
know why this is a red card. Why can't this should be a green card?
Well, because I think because she's all of her arteries are going to get clogged, and she would probably be immensely overweight if she wasn't a spin instructor.
She'll be dead by I was going to say she'll be dead by 35.
Yeah.
That is.
So, Emmanuel, what do you think about this so far? That sounds pretty good to me.
I think she's okay. She's great, but let me just tell you something. My family, we create giant babies. Like, I was a 10-pound baby.
Yeah.
Everyone around me was 10-pound babies.
Wow.
And it's like, she's going to get fat. And it's not that I don't like big women. It's that I'm afraid of her heart exploding on me.
Yeah.
But it's better than cheating on me.
Yeah. I mean, Aaron's
friends.
was terrible. I don't know why he did.
But,
all right, Joe, what do you got?
I didn't even read this red one until a half a second ago.
Okay.
So the good things is she's honest, and you'll never have to work while you date them. But she has actually 2 children stacked on top of each other in a trench coat.
I think we covered this earlier in the conversation.
I think we did.
That is horrendous.
And I actually don't know where you stood on that subject.
Yeah, Emmanuel, what do you think about this couple of children?
No. Absolutely not.
Okay, absolutely
These are some
no.
honest kids, though. They don't lie.
You don't know what's fucked up part about that shit? That was my 2 favorite. I was like, I'm gonna choose that one.
You went
There's
nuts with
nothing
it.
else gonna happen.
Now, wait.
2 kids.
So what if it weren't kids? What if it was just 2 like 18-year-olds who were short?
I would choose that one.
Okay, so what did they identify as? And what
Well, they're adults.
do they look like the ones that do they look like the little people I follow on TikTok?
It says is actually
It's
2
not like
children
Hasbulas.
stacked on top of each
These
other.
are children.
Yeah, but we're saying if they were adults, would
If
it
they
make
were
a
little
difference?
people.
If they were,
What? They're children.
No,
what are y'all
these are-
talking about?
Nothing.
We're trying to change the card. Is that not how
You
it
guys
works?
are cheap. The kids would not approve because they're honest, unlike you guys.
That's terrible. Number one, I'm gonna have to go with
Yeah.
Her
of
heart's
course.
gonna explode on me within like 10 years, so
'cause
I'm
it'll-
gonna get her rap money.
It'll be a great 10 years. You'll have tons of money afterwards. You'll be great. Yeah. Nice.
That's a good point.
Nice. Well, I win the first round. Let's get Joe Libeer going
Nice.
real quick. We got to end at 7:30.
Yeah,
Okay.
we
So
have
let's
five
go ahead and knock
minutes.
some out real quick.
Yeah.
At least get Joe
We
going.
do a rapid round.
Wrap around. Reach around.
Wrap around.
All right. I'm gonna grab a couple. Oh yeah. You're gonna love these, Joe. You're gonna love it.
Yeah. These are my discards, we'll say.
All right, I'm ready whenever we
All
are.
right, yeah, got it. And you can, get those red cards ready. You guys ready? Oh, yeah. All right. I'll go first. All right, Joe. This lady is literally a superhero.
I like it.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
good, right?
Yeah.
Superhero. Yeah.
Safety.
And her superpower is she gives you multiple orgasms.
This sounds fantastic.
Yeah,
She's
can't
got
beat that, right?
She's got a body. Safe.
Uh-huh. Yeah, protects you from crimes. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's hear what you got, Amanual.
All right. So for mine, I get to choose an actress as actress. So you get to pick an actress as actress that you like, right?
Oh, wow.
And then their morning breath smells like fresh baked cookies.
Oh.
Oh, wow.
Is that because Anne Hathaway's eating cookies overnight?
I mean,
Is she just eating them in the middle of the night?
Why do they smell like fresh baked cookies?
I'm pretty sure she has like
She's got a problem.
She probably has like a cookies and cream gum or something.
My recycling bin has just got tons of empty tubs of Crisco and chocolate chip cookie bags are just like gone. I'm like, what are you making so many?
Why are you making it a bad thing?
This sounds like a red card.
All right, so I have the hot barista, not as good as a movie star, but
cool. That's cool.
Can get you both into literally anywhere.
Get you into anywhere.
Yeah, so that
Like
hot club,
Starbucks.
like Starbucks or
Yeah,
that hot
hot
club or
barista.
that show.
Oh, wow.
Your favorite comics coming to town.
Wow.
Backstage passes for you,
Okay.
man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Intriguing.
Yeah.
I like that combo.
All right.
Oh, so
what-
that's like under the radar and also at the top of the red tape at the
There you
same
go.
time.
Very unassuming, right?
That's cool.
All right. I'm going to go with that one.
So she's a actress
Ugh.
whose breath smells like fresh baked cookies, and I can't read upside
She
down.
describes all food as yummy yummers.
Yeah. So she wakes up in the morning and she's like, "Oh, those cookies last night were so good. They were yummy yummers."
Does she do that?
Every
Yummy
time.
yummers.
Does she do that when she's about to give you a blowjob?
No, it's only before
Give me your
eating.
yummy
Oh.
yummers.
All
I
right,
don't like that at all. I'm changing my brain now.
what'd you get from me,
Sorry.
Emmanuel?
I'm gonna say constantly plotting to kill you.
Oh,
Oh,
no.
man.
Wow.
What's
That
your,
one's kind of, I believe it.
Right? Like, what if she got you into a suicide booth?
Yeah.
can get you into literally anywhere? Oh, yeah. That's horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, underwater, you know.
Right.
Like,
On
we
the
should go-
moon?
we should go down to these catacombs. Why is that? I can get you in there.
All right.
I'll get you in there.
I know. This got creepy. Jeez.
Oh, it's about to get creepier.
Okay. So
You're-
mine is a superhero who gives you multiple orgasms. Can't screw that one up. It's
you
perfect.
can,
It's perfect.
because they are Nickelback.
They are Nickelback.
Is.
Whoa. What's wrong with Nickelback? I hate y'all's disrespect of Nickelback. Like,
yeah.
it's not a good band.
Like,
Like,
they
each
never
of these
made-
has a level of fame somewhere.
Yeah,
in it.
guys, all I see here is they're rich. Thank you, Aaron. Superhero gives you orgasms and is rich. That's what Aaron says.
I think, okay. So Nickelback, it's just
And Nickelback is
multiple
all
orgasms.
dudes.
That's actually a crazy pinnacle sweet option. This one was leading, but they're constantly applying to kill me.
You
what if they
can't
do
go
it?
with the person trying to kill you.
I think I have to nix that one. That was my favorite so far because I was like
think-
riding high and riding low. I was like, that's sick. You ruined that one.
Give it the devil.
Yeah, that's
Now, if
horrible.
Anne Hathaway's waking up each morning and she says yummy yummers, like
5
that's,
years.
that's
5
my
years.
actress.
5
that I'm
years
choosing.
in. Yummy yummers.
Yeah, every single
could wear
meal,
you
yummy.
down.
What, maybe you
Doesn't
guys
my
could
breast
just not
smell
eat
yummy
together.
yummers?
It's just like you spend all your time together except for
Nickelback,
meals.
I'm pretty sure they're just giving you a
I
blowjob because
think
there's a guy that's giving you a blowjob.
The problem
Oh, yeah, because
so that's why it's
dudes.
consistent.
Oh.
Such
but
a
I'm
great
busting
orgasm.
twice because
Yeah.
they understand that piece
Your
of
body.
anatomy.
They
Yeah,
understand. your
clearly
body.
you're just attractive to Nickelback, so it's fine. You know, like
There's
why do
nothing
you
wrong.
care?
If I'm having multiple orgasms, I like Nickelback.
Yeah.
I'm choosing this one, the superhero that is Nickelback. That's
Yeah.
making me orgasm.
All
all the
right.
time.
I'm not mad at it because I do love Nickelback.
Well,
Yeah,
I
it's like-
think we realized that Jake wins because he got both of them.
You did.
Didn't you make the cards though?
What's up?
You made the cards.
Oh yeah, I stacked the deck so I would win for sure. Aaron, why would I do that? Thanks so much, guys, for coming in.
Appreciate
Joe
it.
All
Libeer,
right, that's our show.
Emmanuel Angoi, dude, it was awesome. We had
Thanks
an
for
awesome
having
conversation. I'd love to talk to you
Appreciate it.
guys anytime about philosophy. That was super fun.
I
I liked
super
it.
fun.
But anyway, all right, we'll see you later.
All right.